All right, here we are. We're back. I finished shading the floor, making my checkered pattern. What I'm going to do now is shade the spheres and the clocks. And let's get started. So I know that my light source is here. I drew my sun right there to mark it. So I'm going to go ahead and imagine where my sun would be. So it would be shining from here down to here, and from here down to here. So it's basically going like this. So I'm going to go ahead and mark out my lightest tone, my mid-tones, and my dark tones. So now I'm going to get started on shading. So darkest is going to be right around here. One thing you may have noticed is that we are not drawing any cast shadows in this artwork. If you want to go the extra mile and make your work more realistic, add those cast shadows, right? But for mine and for the basic version of this, we're just gonna work on our shading and practice some techniques instead of getting too focused on being perfect. Here are my midtones. All right, and then my lightest tones are here. I'm going to add some more layers here to blend my midtones into my dark tones. And now I'm going to use the blending stick on the cleaner side and blend. Going back in to add more value. And I'm going to leave a small space between my tiles and the object to make that like, make kind of like a reflected light look. All right, that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to go ahead and add these lines, which represents the break, I guess you could call it. And remember, this line should be curved to go with the shape, which is curved. All right, and then right above it, it gets a little bit of a shine mark, like so. All right, so this one's done. Let's go ahead and do our last sphere up here. Again, I'm going to imagine where the light is. So for example, my sun is here, so my light source is going to be shining this way. All right, so my lightest point would be right around here. My mid-tones would be right through here, and my darkest would be down through here. So I like to start with my darkest tones. Now I'm adding my mid and light tone. And now I'm blending those together. All right, now let's blend using our blending stump. All right, and then we're going to erase a bit to create that highlight. All right, now I'm going to add the mark like this. All right, beautiful. All right, next we're going to have this clock shaded. Again, we see the light source, so the light is going to be shining this way. This object is not round, so the whole thing is going to be slightly shaded, but it will be light, very light on this corner. And then the only cast shadow that we did draw is going to be right around here. So I'll show you. So first I'm going to shade the whole thing very lightly. I like to do this using horizontal marks. And then the lighter end of my blending stump, I'm going to smear it. All right, the outside of this clock is going to be a little bit darker. And then I'm going to blend it again. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead and just clean it up with my pencil and eraser. So it still looks sharp instead of all smudgy. Now I'm going to use the point of my eraser here, or the point of my eraser here, and I'm going to erase a line. Something like this. And that's going to show the highlight where the sun's hitting it. All right. Now I'm going to shade a little bit here because right in that area is where the cast shadow would be. And this is the only cast shadow that we're really drawing today. Unless you want to go above and beyond, you can add more cast shadow. All right, so this is looking solid. What's next? I need to finish up this flower and then I think we're going to be done. I'm also going to go ahead and darken up the lines for my wall. Cool. Pretty good. All right. So, I guess along with that, it can darken up this. Okay, so to finish my flower, I'm going to add some shading to it, and I'm going to outline it again. So to re-outline, I'm just going to go over and add more detail to what I had already drawn. All right, the final steps for our projects are going to be to erase our source of light, and we're also going to add the random pieces coming from our gesture drawing. So to add the random pieces, I'm going to use my eraser. I'm going to use the corner of it, and I'm going to start just erasing kind of blobbish shapes that go with the vibe of my artwork. So I had drawn this ballet dancer doing this pose, and I'm having kind of like a fire come from her, something like that. And then to make those a little bit more clear, I'm going to outline parts of them. I'll try to move my hand so y'all can see what I'm doing. I'm not really outlining the whole thing, I'm just kind of outlining the bottom of each of them to give them a little bit of form, but not too much to where I'm having to like draw everything specifically. And again, these are inspired by the artwork that we studied, the surrealistic art. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and erase my light source. And I had drawn a lot of lines coming from that, so I'm going to erase those as well as much as I can. And then I'll need to fix my shading. In the top section to make it smooth again. All right, so I can see where the shading stopped being smooth. I'm going to get my blending stick and blend that back in. Okay. Beautiful. Next, check your work for any smudges or errors and get ready to take a photo of it to turn it in. I'm also going to take my pen and write my name here and my class period here. All right, so that way I wrote it in pen, you can see it in the corner. And we're done.